Hello, everybody. It's Aaron Christensen, the Horror 101 with Dr. AC, and welcome back to The Stack, where I'm trying to work my way through this stack of physical media, which I adore, but it also is like haunting my counter space. So today, we're going to be looking at Dario Argento's Tenebrae, a classic by any standard, I would think. I would say that probably Tenebrae lands in my top three Dario Argentos. Probably takes a rotating rep with Suspiria and maybe Opera, depending on my mood. But yeah, I love Tenebrae. I think I like it more than other of his more famous giallos like Bird with the Crystal Plumage or even Deep Red. I just love how kind of like weird it is, but I also love how like super gory and violent it is. It's just more fun for my money. It's also deeply strange. Like there are some scenes in there where you're just like, what is going on with the woman with the red shoes? I really dig Tenebrae, and Synapse Films has released it now on a 4K Ultra HD. What's kind of curious about this release is that it seems like they kind of just took Arrow's setup, because I think Arrow released it in the UK, and they just basically ported the whole damn thing over, including like the menu. I don't think Synapse like made their own menu. I think they just like said, "Hey, Arrow, you nailed it," because it's the same kind of format that you'll see in other Arrow releases. So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting / bizarre. For those of you who don't know Tenebrae, and you should, here's a quick synopsis. American mystery writer Peter Neal, played by Anthony Franciosa, comes to Rome to promote his newest novel, Tenebrae. A razor-wielding psychopath is on the loose, taunting Neal and murdering those around him in gruesome fashion, just like a character in his novel. As the mystery surrounding the killing spirals out of control, Neal investigates the crimes on his own, leading to a mind-bending, genre-twisting conclusion that will leave you breathless. That synopsis doesn't even begin to cover the amount of weirdness. I mean, it starts off with Neal riding on a bicycle to get to the airport, which Maitland McDonough just has a field day with, because I mean, who does that? Who rides a bicycle to catch especially in New York? It's like, it doesn't make any sense at all. But then once Peter Neal gets there, we have all sorts of this wonderful like misdirection. It becomes very clear that Rome is not a safe place to be. There's so many great set pieces in this. Each of the murders, of course, has a standout quality to it, but there's that amazing tracking shot that goes out and up and over the house, in through another window. It's really pretty extraordinary. There's also the most tenacious Doberman on the face of the earth. He chases this poor teenager, but I referred to that scene on the beach. It's kind of this weird dream sequence that turns out that maybe it's a flashback, just extraordinary. And then there's the final sequence, which I won't spoil, but if you've ever, let's just say that it shows Dario Argento is a true artist, perhaps in painting. Painting might be the next thing that he goes into. And Anthony Franciosa is wonderful. He does a terrific job. I think he's a terribly underrated actor. I think he's really, really good in this. Dario Nicolodi is okay. Part of that has to do with the fact that she was dubbed by another actress. This is at the time when she and Dario were on the outs with each other. Again, this is one of my favorite Argento films, so I've seen it a number of times. However, there are just so many wonderful supplements on this. There are 3 different commentary tracks. The first one has British critics Alan Jones and Kim Newman, which if you've watched any supplements at all, those 2 guys, I promise you, have shown up at some point. Kim Newman has the big mustache and the long brown hair, glasses, and then Alan Jones is bald. The one I happened to watch this time around is the one by Maitland McDonough, who wrote the book Broken Mirrors, Broken Minds about Dario Argento. And oh my gosh, you have not had a good time until you've sat down with Maitland McDonough and just had her ramble on through an Argento film, because she's so full of information, but she's also just really, really funny and intelligent and clever. It's just a delight. The third commentary track is by Argento expert Thomas Rostock, who I am not familiar with, but I'm looking forward to hearing his commentary track as well. One of the highlights of this release is a documentary called Yellow Fever: The Rise and Fall of Giallo. And it talks about how giallo came to be. It's not quite as thorough as All the Colors of Giallo, which came out a few years back, but it's a great introduction for people who are just getting into the game, learning about what giallo is and does and how it acts and behaves. There are also interviews with John Steiner and Dario Argento. There's a featurette called Voices of the Unsane, which features interviews with Dario Nicolodi, Claudio Simonetti, our cinematographer Luciano Tivioli, assistant director Lamberto Bava, and our actress Eva Robbins. Anyway, it is a beautiful release and well worth checking out. Anyway, so that's Tenebrae, out from Synapse Films. It's a wonderful presentation of a terrific film by Dario Argento. So it's actually, I would say it's a great way to kind of get into Argento. If you haven't watched much Argento, Tenebrae is a great entry point because it shows him as a stylist. It shows how deft he is with his camera work. I don't think he's ever topped himself in terms of camera work, to be honest. I think it's just extraordinary. So if you don't have a copy of Argento's Tenebrae, I think this is well worth checking out. Looking forward to chatting with you next time on The Stack. Keep searching, keep exploring, and keep sharing the scare.